Welcome back to another deep dive where I go over anything and everything FPS related, whether that's Call of Duty, Destiny, X-Defiant, or anything that I'm just kind of interested in and feel like I want to share to you guys. So let's find out what we're diving into now, shall we? You know, when I covered this story yesterday, I knew that it was just going to get twisted out of context and turn real bad. If you didn't see yesterday's video, recently, former OpTic member, now a faze, Crimsix sat down with Formal, Scump, Karma, and Hitch to talk about the highs and lows of the era of the old OpTic Dynasty. And early on in the podcast, Crimsix wanted to speak on Nadeshot, or this Nade situation, where apparently him and Nade were sitting down and talking, and Nadeshot said if they won the World Cup or the World Championship in that year, that he was going to donate his earnings to charity, and that just for some reason completely checked Crim. Now I get why it would check him as a competitor, but here's what he had to say.
Can we talk about the Nade situation?
Sure.
For my sake?
Yeah, what about it?
Because Nade thinks that, like, at least he said on his podcast, it was like, oh, like, Crim wanted me out, right? Didn't we all?
Yeah,
I think he wanted himself out.
Yeah, no.
I vaguely remember being at the bar and him coming up to us and like apologizing and saying like, I'm just gonna stop. Like,
yeah, I think we all like after champs, we all like we all wanted him out, and then I think he kind of knew that we all wanted him out, and he just stepped down. So like he wasn't officially dropped because he just knew like the vibe that we were giving off. It was like, yeah,
I don't remember, but like it had to have been.
I think he just knew, and then he was like,
the one
I'm stepping down.
thing that like, dude, I looked at him differently over was at champs in AW, right? And this honestly checked me. Like, this was why I think I played like fucking dog shit. Because we just won 4 events in a row, right? And then like travel day, and he's like, yeah, if we win, I'm gonna donate a charity tax write-off. And I was just like, bro. And in my head, right, people don't understand like the way I am. Dude, I've been playing since 2007, lost for 7 years straight, getting dumpstered by Matt and Halo, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't want to go back to that at all. Like, I'm not here to fucking, this is everything. You know, this is fucking champs. And I remember that. I was just like, what the fuck? And I don't know. Even to this day, I think about it.
Really? I don't remember him saying that.
No, yeah, it was only to me. It was like we were walking.
Well, what about it? It's just like the fact that the money wasn't.
It's just like, dude,
I know what you're like saying. Like you like needed to win it, and he like said that, and it just showed you that like you needed it. He just wanted it.
You know? Exactly. It was more about the competition, right?
And I get it, because if a teammate says that to you, you're just gonna like
why the fuck are we here?
If you're not on the same level of like passion, like you're just gonna resent them. It's instantly.
At the end of the day, I thought about like, how that's a want for you.
Yeah.
But for your competition who we're playing against, like this is life-changing money.
Yeah, they needed that.
Like you'll never. I don't care how much talent you have. Like you're probably gonna lose when your like motivations are that different.
Yeah.
So I remember I was just like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Like,
that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear Nade talk about.
Now, I'm not calling Crimsix a liar, but it is hard to speak on something like this on a podcast like that without Nadeshot being there to tell his side of the story. And for Nade, imagine trying to go Immortal or Ascendant on Valorant or whatever rank he's trying to get to, and you just look over and chat is asking you about Crimsix and the beef and what's going on. Or when he's getting up in between games and he's trying to take a poo and he's just scrolling through Twitter and he's just seeing his former teammates talking shit on him on a podcast to the green wall. So Nadeshot put together a thread kind of giving his 2 cents on the matter, and thanks to the power of AI, we got a creepily accurate version of Nadeshot reading this tweet to us.
Just to be clear, that OpTic Dynasty podcast clip where Crimsix just made up an imaginary story out of thin air about my prize earnings and tax write-offs is truly insane. Trust me, as much as I would love to sound charitable and financially savvy, me at 22 years old was far from it. Normally, I wouldn't comment on something like this, but it's bizarre to hear such an unnecessary lie from 8 years ago to justify his average performance. Here's the deal. We were a dominant team. We won 3 events in a row. prior to champs, we lost the big one, and that will be what most people remember about my time on the roster. Did they accomplish more with Damon after? Absolutely. Was Damon a better player than me? Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is I helped win us those tournaments, and you can't take that away from me. I helped build that team with Hector, Scump, and many others, so I'm not going to sit back and let in bullshit about my effort and competitive drive. I was ridiculed, trolled, and blamed for anything that went wrong on stage, and I promise you that I'm not looking for pity. I just want the record to be straight. I care deeply about the success of that roster, and I'm proud of the championship moments I contributed to during my tenure on OpTic. I've spent the last 8 years being a footnote on that team's legacy, and I won't let Ian's delusions be what you remember about our roster in that tournament.
And can I say how cool and creepily accurate that AI version of Nadeshot is? But that's not the only thing we heard from him. While he was playing Valorant, he got to expand a little bit more on this.
Me leaving OpTic and retiring after AW Champs was a really, really hard decision for me. It was probably the biggest risk that I've ever taken in my entire life. And I still, to this day, even before they did this podcast, think about it very often. I overthink a lot of things. I probably think about that moment in time probably once a month. And it comes with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of thoughts around, did I make the right decisions? For me, in a moment where my life was probably the most chaotic and I did the wildest shit that I've ever done, moved to LA, like basically cut off my boys. I made a lot of decisions that I think about now to this day that I regret in some capacity or another. Like that was a tough period of my life. And I did it in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm not looking for pity when I say that. Like, I chose this, dude. My life is because of what I do online in front of others. There's just a lot of emotion and a lot of pride that I had about my time and my memories back when I was a part of that team. You know, that was my biggest accomplishment, being on that roster. And it has been totally, like, eclipsed and fucking forgotten because they were exponentially better with karma, which they were, dude, and they absolutely deserve that credit. But I'm the one that has to sit back and think about mistakes that I might have made in the past, and then nobody else really gives a fuck about it. And then 8 years later, Crimsix comes out and makes up an entire story about where my priorities were, what I actually cared about, and what I wanted to accomplish, and why he played poorly, we all played poorly, whatever. So there is just a lot of ego and pride and resentment that I hold to this situation because of all of the time that I've spent over the last 8 years thinking about that team. Anybody who wants to say that I sound emotional, yada, 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 you're fucking right. I do, man. Like, I'm a competitive person, bro. You think I want to be a footnote on that fucking team's legacy? I am, bro, and that's okay. They were a better team. But that shit was super important to me, man. And that was like my dream come true. And so to have like 3 of my old teammates who I won it with sit there and talk about that, and the fact that nobody wanted to be on the team, yada, 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 yeah, this shit just kind of strikes a fucking nerve.
And all around, this is just a super messy situation, and one that could have easily been avoided looking back at it. And of course, hindsight's 2020. And of course, when Nadeshot responds to this, it's just gonna escalate it and turn this whole drama up to 11. And when Scump went live again, and this is a guy who was at Nadeshot's wedding, he kind of got interrogated by his chat, and this was.
All right, so wait, what did people want me to defend him about? I'll open the floor with that real quick. The tax write-off stuff. Okay. I'm just going to say one thing about that. How the fuck do you expect me to defend Matt over something that came from Crimsix's head? How do you expect... What? How do you expect me to defend him on that? That literally came from Ian's head. What am I, in Ian's mind? What are we talking about, dude? I was listening to what Ian had to say. I listened, and that was it. That was it. The fuck am I supposed to defend him about, dude? I don't really understand what the disconnect is. Exactly, dude. I mean, like, people are mad at me for not defending him, but like, dude, it's coming from Ian's mind. I just don't understand how the fuck I would even defend him when it's coming from Ian's mind. I sat there, I listened. Didn't me and Formal say? I don't remember that. Didn't we say that? Did we not say that? Just Formal. Okay, well, I thought that I said it too, but whatever. I mean, I don't remember that at all. Don't remember it. It came from Ian's mind. He wished you backed him up more. All right, well, then that's my bad. How am I supposed to back up something that I don't fucking remember? I don't know. Like, y'all are asking me to take a side, and I don't even know what to do. You know, that comment was to Ian, to Matt, or Matt to Ian, whatever it was.
And yeah, I feel like for these guys, this has just been unnecessary suck that has entered their lives. And if Crim ever wanted to get back on OpTic or 100 Thieves, I think he kind of shot himself in the foot with this one, because just like the name of his podcast, Burning Bridges, he's burning bridges. And the biggest issue with that business model is there's only so many bridges to burn, and once you burnt through all your bridges, what are you going to be left with? But this is where I turn it over to you guys. What do you guys think about this drama? Do you guys see the light at the end of the tunnel, or is this something that time is just going to have to pass to heal this wound? And with that said, if you liked the video, you learned anything at all, please like and subscribe. I know we didn't talk about season 6 of Call of Duty in this video, but I just really wanted to focus on this situation, and I'll make that video tomorrow because your boy called it. I think season 6 gonna go hard, baby. And if you like the energy that I'm putting out there, come join me over on kick.com/Orod, where I go live virtually every day, except for really next Wednesday through Sunday, or pretty much all of next week because I'm going out of town for a wedding, but that's here nor there. Moving on. And if you're already a part of the crew, please share this video with your friend. That way they stay caught up in the loop with all the cool shit that's happening in and around Call of Duty. And I challenge all of you guys, make somebody laugh today, be a light in someone's life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.